We're back on Inside USA, coming to you this week from the Arctic Circle in Alaska. Earlier in the show, we looked at how indigenous people here have survived for centuries by hunting the bowhead whale, and how many feel that hunt will be jeopardized if the U.S. goes ahead with plans to drill for oil off these shores. But in an election year with voters across the country facing record-high gas prices, the call for more drilling has never been so definite.
Drill, baby, drill. A political mantra that has taken on a life of its own in this election year. It first echoed around the hall at the Republican convention on the day vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin made her debut speech.
Americans, we need to produce more of our own oil and gas. Take it from a gal who knows the North Slope of Alaska. We've got lots of both.
But the drive to lift the 25-year ban on offshore oil drilling was already well underway months before the convention. In a summer of high gas prices, a pressure group led by former Republican House Leader Newt Gingrich spent millions orchestrating a campaign for more drilling, complete with marches, petitions, even a country song. Drill here, drill now. When opinion polls tipped in favor of drilling, Barack Obama and the Democrat-controlled Congress tipped too, and the ban on offshore drilling was allowed to lapse. Now both candidates are on board.
And I think that we should look at offshore drilling and implement it in a way that allows us to get some additional oil.
And so Alaska is once again on a frontier of U.S. policy, anticipating the latest gold rush. Sarah Palin's home state already receives 80% of its revenue from petroleum extraction.
We have huge resources, and we may have 300 trillion cubic feet of gas and maybe another 40 billion barrels of oil. And what we want to do is to develop that. And we are feeling the pain of very high energy prices. And so there's now the political will to develop natural resources here in North America that may have been politically unattractive in the past.
On the campaign trail, Sarah Palin has almost come to embody the call for more oil drilling. It's an irony of the Palin phenomenon that she has simultaneously built a reputation for standing up to big oil as governor of Alaska. But here in Anchorage, not everyone is buying it.
We should be telling the oil companies what the boundaries are instead of the oil companies telling us how it is. And Sarah tries to give that image of being that person and that voice. And in fact, we haven't seen enough of that.
Diane Benson is a native Alaskan, a former trucker and dog sled racer, who ran in the Democratic primaries here, losing to the candidate backed by the party establishment.
Hey, Lucy girl.
She's watched Sarah Palin's rise to power and the ebb and flow of the offshore drilling debate. She thinks there's one voice that's not being heard.
The region should have the greatest input into, because they are going to know better than anyone else what those impacts are. And if it can't be done safely, then it can't be done safely. But I'd rather have a sensible discussion about it and look at the science, and rather than all this politicizing around all of these issues and somebody saying something insane like drill baby drill, rather than, you know, let's have a real good conversation about this.
Back in Barrow, Inupiaq leaders hear the oil drilling chorus coming from down south. It's a chorus with profound consequences for their community.
They're like a pack of hungry wolves, and they see a big old carcass, the Arctic Ocean, and they can't wait to go in there. And they don't even look at, you know, the people that are living there. And our only problem is we want to keep staying here. We don't want to leave.
For Arctic communities, it is in many ways a perfect storm. Humans burn fossil fuels, accelerating global warming. The Arctic ice pack retreats, opening the ocean for the extraction and shipping of more fossil fuels. And that scenario threatens not only the whales, but those who hunt them as well. In Barrow, these connections are anything but abstract.
The lack of ice creates big swells out there, and we had a death, unfortunately, about 4 years ago due to really rough waters out there.
I mean, if a people go through 3 ice ages and live, you're going to destroy them on the end of their third? I thought we had laws that protect people from that. We fought World War II so that wouldn't happen.
It's midnight on day 1 of the whale hunt. Young whaling captain Ross Wilhelm has caught the first whale of the season. It's also the first whale of his career, a 40-foot bowhead. He gets a hero's welcome. Deep into the night, well below freezing, and dozens take part in cutting up the whale. Right here by the beach, it's divided up, and everyone will get a share.
After you catch a whale, your whole family comes over. You're surrounded by people you love, who love you, and your heart is just so full of these feelings and emotions, you can't contain them. And so it's like the ultimate high.
What it really boils down to is it's to feed the people. And that's the whole effort behind whaling, is to feed the people, and nobody goes hungry. You do it with honor, with integrity, and with humbleness.
Going out there hauling ass, that's what gets me. That's what I like.
With both national political parties now embracing offshore drilling, it looks like it'll be a matter of when, not if, the rigs come to Barrow's whaling grounds. Which raises a question that is painful for people here to contemplate. If the Inupiaq people lose the bowhead whale, what does the future of their world look like?
Our culture could go up at just like that in the event of an oil spill.
And as long as we stand together, you know, we're not going to lose. We're going to exist. We're going to survive. The acts of colonialism is over, and the strongest fighter against that is the United States. And we're going to have to tell them to put up or shut up.
If there is an oil spill, can the people survive? The one constant about Inupiaq Eskimos is that we have always had the ability to adapt to change. And we don't even like to think about the future of our brothers and sisters, the bowhead whale. And that is why we fight. We are going to survive. And that's what this is about, is survival.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of Inside USA. From the northernmost community in the United States on the shores of the Arctic Ocean, until next time, so long.